Achieving anything remarkable in life requires a high degree of mental fortitude. All the greats, all the pioneers of various fields and industries had a struggle to go through. But coupled with that was an unrelenting drive to prove themselves right. Something that reinforced this for me was a quote I heard around a year ago. This is by Alex Hormozy and has been on repeat for me, especially when things get difficult. It's the sort of thing that you have to acknowledge in order to achieve things others have never done before. Success comes down to doing the obvious thing for an extraordinary period of time, without convincing yourself that you're smarter than you are. The things we find mundane, the small habits, they are all steps up the mountain of success. If you convince yourself that you're smarter than you think you are, you'll find reasons, rationalize alternatives, and cheat yourself out of the success that potentially awaits you. Since this is my first video speaking to the camera, I think it'd be good to formally introduce myself. My name is Andy, I'm a 19-year-old gap year student. For the past year and a bit, I've pursued video creation full time and have made some decent progress. Setting up my first limited company, signing a dozen or so retainer clients, and working with some big local clubs. I've also had the pleasure to intern at a couple of media agencies in order to learn more about the craft and enhance my skills. But this didn't come out of nowhere. About 2 years ago, I started with theme pages and a personal brand, posting motivational, cinematic gym shorts. We picked up some traction and I built a solid following, but I quickly got bored with the repetition. The content started to feel formulaic, and I knew I wanted to tell deeper, more meaningful stories. I've always felt drawn to traditional filmmaking, stuff like feature films, documentaries, and visual pieces that really stick with people. That's why I'm starting small and using this YouTube channel to document the process. For me, the biggest shift in mentality came after high school. At this time, all of my friends went to university to pursue steady jobs that would give them security, structure, and a sense of connection with those around them. And sometimes I feel as though I'm making the wrong decision, trying to chase what it is that I want. Because this is the path less traveled. There's no real stability in what I'm trying to achieve. No consistent paychecks, no prefix career progression, just an ambient feeling of uncertainty. But what I've realized through it all is that you have to have fortitude to weather the storm and take the risks that are necessary. Let me try and put it like this. The narrative arc, the skeleton of every story. It moves from exposition to rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. In movies, we grow attached to characters precisely because we watch them fight through hardship toward a goal. Real life runs on the same logic, only stretched far past 90 minutes and without cinematic montages. It's messy, days blur, winds feel minor, but the principle is unchanged. The people we root for are the ones who keep swinging when nothing looks glamorous, the ones who keep going in spite of the uncertainty ahead. At a certain point, you have to stop wondering if it's possible, and instead believe that it's real. With all the unpredictability you may face going into a new career, field, or chasing a dream, convincing yourself that you're smarter than you think is the only way to guarantee failure and regret later down the line. Fortitude isn't loud, it's the obvious work, repeated long enough to look inevitable in hindsight. So remember, if success is a movie, you're both the writer and the lead.